Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Oh, welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at thecoalition.com.
My name is Lawrence, aka A Punk with Toys, on all the social media. And as I was sitting here, I'm sitting here and I'm what the hell is that? And if you look above me, you see my square, and you look above me, it looks like I'm in a cardboard box or something.
Oh yeah, what is that?
It's the backdrop of the subway, but the way it looks like I'm in a cardboard.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
like,
nice. You know what? I should make another image. And I was thinking about that, making an image where it looks like the windows from the train. So it's like we're in two different windows. They're like waving, like, we're on a train.
I was like, what the? Because if you look, it's dark.
Yeah.
And then there's like a black spot. It almost looks like I'm like, what the heck? Like,
Oh boy.
Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm good. Oh man, this has been a wild week. A lot going on the channel. Got a lot of stuff happening. Mobland is getting crazy. We're also getting toward the end of that. So I see a lot of people commenting with their theories of what's happening, and we'll get into that in Mobland. But right now we are here. We are here to talk about Murderbot, season 1, episode 3, risk assessment. Real quick housekeeping. Again, thanks for everybody that jumped in. We got a lot of people that jumped in the comments regarding this show. Majority of them are from the book series, which is fantastic because, as I mentioned before, Lawrence and I have not read the book. We're just into sci-fi. This look cool. We know the actor, Alexander Skarsgård. And like, yeah, let's jump into it. And it's great to see that people that are fans of that IP willing to embrace this show, because as you know, and there was someone that made a comment about it, it's always a hit or miss. You never know when there's an adaptation, if it's going to do the original IP justice or just ruin it like some other shows. Wheel of Time comes to mind, where things just go off the rails, and it's like, wait, you're not even talking about the same show anymore. But anyway, yeah, a lot of that. And big shout out to Tamara. We have some great comments. A lot of the questions that we have were answered. Thank you so much with that. One, Delta is DeltFall. It's not DeltFall. You instantly think when you hear Delta, you want to go Delta Fall. Yeah. It's not. It's DeltFall. It's like, okay. Also, the celebration that we saw with Pinley, Orada, and Rathi, they're getting married. The contract situation. That's what that is. Everything in this universe is with contracts.
But explain that a little bit, because you explained it to me, and I thought that it was a contract like for marriage. They were calling it something different. It's called a contract, but you said that it's the three of them getting married, right?
Yeah. It's they're all getting married. They're bringing him into the fold. And that was the whole celebration. That's why Arada's all thrilled, because we saw in episode 1 when secunit, we'll just call him secunit, because that's the other thing that I found out, thanks to the people out there in the comments, that this whole thing is that it's in his head.
Yeah.
So in the first episode, he referred to himself, hey, I want to be something different. I'm going to call myself Murderbot. But apparently the running joke throughout the books is that no one else calls him that. That he tries to get people to call him that in certain moments, but everyone knows him as a secunit. They just see him as that, and that's his inner voice, just saying that he
talks to himself a lot, or he's in his head an awful lot.
He's definitely just like some real people in the real world. We all know somebody that daydreams a lot.
And you know what? Seriously, all the guy wants to do is watch TV and movies.
Hey, that makes sense. Think about that.
I know.
You became self-aware. I mean, we're here, but let's say if you just woke up somewhere else and you're like, wow, let me consume your information. What do you have to offer that I don't have in my internal database? Well, this is all of this. It's a lot of it's useless content. These shows that he's watched, these dramas. A Sanctuary Moon.
He is literally doing a job just so he is faking that he isn't self-aware just so they will leave him alone so he can watch TV in his head. Like we've
he's
all done this in real life too,
oh, of
right?
course. Yeah. You're looking at the clock. You want to go do something more important than what you're doing right now. It's like, oh, I want to go do, and he's just keeping them alive pretty much. So he has
Yep.
connection to the network, so he can watch his shows. And then, right, the last episode, he talks about how and they even showed a little reenactment of him just shooting everybody on the hopper, and then he's like, but then I would do what? I wouldn't have access to my shows. The company will
Yeah,
come after me. It'll be a mess. So
they'd melt him down, and
they'll melt them
yeah,
down and use them for parts and
it's
stuff like that.
it's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it's very interesting what he's doing. So
Yeah. But
you said you had. Oh, I'm sorry.
no. I just to clean up the whole housekeeping thing. Thanks again for everybody doing the comment and subscribing, and then also the people that are on Spotify land and on Apple. It's just been great. This has just been great. The numbers are going up. Hey, and for those who have been with us since the early days, I should say, within a few weeks
There.
ago, we only had like 20, 30. We're over 100. Woo!
Yep.
Over 100 subs. You see, this is going to happen when we hit 100,000. We'll remember everybody. We'll have a big celebration, big giveaway. We'll all high five, and it'll be amazing. It's going to happen within a few months. I feel it. Or maybe not. Who knows? But
I would just like to get one of those YouTube plaques one day, whether it be here, whether it be on my other channel. I just want one of those YouTube play buttons.
Yeah, a real one. You don't want to go on like Etsy and have somebody 3D print
No,
one for you?
I
No,
want
okay.
one where YouTube just
One,
sends
legit.
it directly to you.
They send it in the mail.
And that's
Yeah.
what they do. From what I understand, I believe they just send it to you.
They don't even tell you beforehand, like, oh, guess what? Look in the mail. You're gonna get.
I think once you hit 100,000 subs, they send you, I think, is a silver plaque, and then I think is 1 million subs. I believe you get a gold plaque.
I think I would have a panic attack if I hit 1 million subs. I've seen some channels implode because of that. They just feel so much stress.
Yep.
Of like, they're like, oh, I used to respond to all the comments, and I can't even see my comments. It floods like a news.
You know what? On my other channel, I'm sorry, we're kind of off topic here. And I'm closing out on 7,000 subs, and this is a toy channel.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're working your way up, you want to answer every single question. Every time someone makes a comment, you want to answer it, right? That shows your engagement. That gives people, hey, these people are actually watching it. And you hear other smaller YouTube channels like that guy, hey, they don't even answer me if I say something. Then you start realizing when you start having, videos that are getting, 2, 3, 4,000, views, and you're getting 50 to 100 comments. It is hard to answer because if you miss a day, they're just backloaded.
Oh, yeah, gets out of control. But we're not there yet.
No,
one day
I'll be more than happy to get there one day.
And then we'll hire our own secunit, or we'll get our own AI bot.
No, I saw the Terminator. I know how it ends. I don't know why we're all determined to be AI stuff. All right,
we all want to be lazy. That's really what it comes down to, it, right? Isn't like
we
WALL-E?
not see WALL-E?
Yeah, exactly. It's WALL-E.
They're all so fat that they don't even get up out of their
to shove the Twinkies in my face. Let me lounge. I was like, I worked hard to buy this big robot to take care of me. That's, if anything, I want the iRobot from iRobot. Those units, they're pretty good.
Well, until they all turn on you.
Always got to bring up the downside, right? Look at you. You're negative. Think positive. These are just awesome robots.
I'm glass half
full, half empty. Half crazy. I mean, I would probably get a kick if I had a sec unit that just was self-aware. 1 minute I'm watching something and I hear him giggle in the background. I was like, did you laugh? What's laughter? What do you mean? I'm going to go check the perimeter. It's like what he did here with Mesa, with the whole conversation.
My question is, does my SecBot watch my YouTube channel? Is he subscribed? Does he like all my comments and like all my videos? That's, come on.
Yeah, you'll get that. You'll see
a thumbs down, right?
Yeah, you'll know. He'll give you a thumbs up, and then you'll see LOL, and then every video just like thumbs up, LOL with a comment, LOL. Oh boy. All right. That's all right. We drifted big time. All right. So anyway, yeah, here we go. Let's get this started. So we got Mesa. We got Gurathin, right? Gurathin. I don't want to mess this name up. People always practicing this name. They
It's
really bother.
Gurathin.
Gurathin. Gurathin. I don't like that name though. But yeah, Gurathin. Right. And the Secbot. And they're talking about DeltFall. Sorry, I can't. I'm looking for that A. And they're concerned because, as we saw in the ending of the last episode, they have lost communication or they can't communicate to them. But from what we could see, something has gone wrong at that location. But
Yeah.
so, oh man. All right, so let's see. So something went wrong. So then they're like, all right, well, we got to put together a team. We're going to go out there. All right. Gurathin, they're going to keep behind. All right, he's going to stay back. We got Barb, who's also staying behind. So it looks like we just have Rathi, we have Pinley, Arata, Mesa, of course, and they're bringing Secbot. A secunit. Why did I call him
Yeah.
Secbot? Yeah, I'm saying now combining Murderbot. And here's something for the people that with the books and in the comments. Do you prefer to call him Murderbot or secunit? Because this is the thing. In the story, obviously, we just went over the whole thing. But if you go on IMDb, they have him mentioned as just Murderbot. That's his title. His character name is Murderbot.
I think that's who. I think that's that's who he sees himself as. Like,
yeah.
like Bruce Wayne sees himself as Batman, not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is his alter ego, which is strange when you think about it.
So if we were covering, let's say, a Batman show, let's say we're covering Gotham. Remember that? I mean, granted, he never turned into Batman, not till like the last episode. But I guess the whole time we would have to refer to him as Bruce Wayne. Or if it was a Batman movie, we'd say, all right, well, he's in Bruce Wayne form, and before he makes a
Well, you
transition.
refer to him as Bruce Wayne when he is, as Bruce Wayne, and when he's as Batman is when he's Batman. So it's kind of weird because technically he's not a Murderbot yet. At least we haven't seen him.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, we haven't jumped ahead, and we don't know. Does he ever get to that point? Maybe.
And you're not supposed to self-gloss. Like that's one thing. You don't self-gloss. You don't give yourself nicknames. This guy's giving himself a nickname. So we'll go with secunit.
Yeah, we'll go with the secunit, right? All right, so let's see. What was it? So then they want to set up some beacons. They didn't hear a beacon. They ask secunit if there a way that he can communicate, and he's like, usually.
He's just so annoyed with them.
The whole time.
He's just so annoyed with them. It's like here's this robot, right? Who has obviously organic features. He's just so annoyed. Like the whole show is about him being annoyed with humans because all he wants to watch is TV. And anyone that has kids knows what that feels like.
Yeah, it's just constant, and that's the thing. I'm writing this down, and then I have to put in parentheses inner thoughts, because then he's just drifting. He's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk to these people. He's adding his own dialogue every time they ask him a question. Why are they talking to me? It's like, oh, why are they questioning this? And am I giving myself away? And then we see he's watching a different show, in his head. Oh man,
they need to do a series of the shows, like one episode series. A series like one episode each episode in the series is about whatever he was watching, just so we can be filled in on why he likes it so much. But he tells you what he likes about it, like in this episode, and it's I don't know. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, and even when Mesa says, "All right, you're gonna join us on this trip, but I want to see your face," pretty much take the helmet down.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're part of the team. It's like, no one asked me. I don't want to be part of this team. Like, why? Why am I doing this? This is just a job. I just want to watch TV. Yeah, it's really funny. I just find that funny.
But then it makes me wonder, like, do the other sect units, are they to this point? Are other ones becoming self-aware, right? Or because he just figured out how to hack himself.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know how long he's been working on this. We don't know if he had some help. Maybe there was additional code that he picked up somewhere else. There could be a bunch of factors, and maybe later on it does come up, because the way the show starts off, it's within like the first 5 minutes that he's like, wait, I think I can figure it out. Oh, boom, I hacked it. I'm in. Okay, good. Wow. Oh, wow. Look at this. So I'm sure there's a backstory to it. But I don't think it's something that they could all do, or else that's faulty programming right there. If all of them could be self-aware, And who knows? Maybe he does come across some other ones. Maybe
Yeah.
at the end of this episode, what we just saw, that could be a thing.
But
All right. So what part are we up to now? Because I just say again, we just drifted off. We just rambled. Oh boy. All right, we got to the part with the beacon, right? Yeah, they asked
yeah.
questions about that.
Yes. Basically, I asked, like, ask if they fail, and he said they shouldn't, but who knows? But they take off and they go over there, and then we see, Barb here, she's clearly. I mean, this whole attack by this big giant worm is taking its toll on her. I mean,
Oh
I don't think anyone should be shocked by that, right?
yeah. Mm-mm.
Um,
But then the funny part of that whole scene is that it's almost like a show within a show because Unit is like, you know what? I wonder how she's doing. And then he just like, "Toop," and he can tap into the
Yep.
camera feed in her room and he can just see. He's like, oh, so it's like he's creating his own show. But then this also brings up the point is what we don't know. Because even though he's self aware now, what's he really programmed to watch over them in
and
this way?
he's seeing all of them through different cameras, and that is all from the corporation. It just dawned on me: do they know that the corporation is constantly watching them? Do they
Well, they
know that
make
these cameras
no,
are installed?
no, they don't because that comes up later on when they start talking about the logs. Because when he confirms about the
Yeah.
logs, so they don't know, but they have to assume. And then we saw earlier in the first episode when he says that his job is to go to each room that they to just assess to make sure everything is okay. There's certain areas that he can go to, but now that he's self-aware, he can tap in whenever he feels like it.
Just
So the
taps.
next, yeah. So the next question is all this being logged? Can they still tap into his mind and see his log so they can see that he's been gathering information on all the other crew members?
It's kind of like the Truman Show.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Truman Show. Oh, that was so sad. That could never happen. There was oh man, Spike TV when that was around, they had a show similar like that. Remember the Joe or regular Joe or something like that? They had a guy they brought in. And they thought
Average Joe.
Average Joe, yeah, that he thought he was on a reality show for love or something like that, but they were all in on it except him. It was that famous clip of him saying, "What's going on?" Like once they tell him that this whole show is built around you, we're just
Do
messing with.
people forget that Sally Jesse Raphael
Oh,
episode? Like,
that was a oh no, yep. Let's not go there.
yeah, I know.
That was a crazy one. I
In
think
fact,
that ruined that show.
if you had
Yeah,
Sally Jesse Raphael on your bingo card, you may have just won.
yeah. There you go.
And we're gonna refer to her as Bard because I can't figure
I'm
out
not
how they
ripping that
actually
name. I am not destroying that
enunciate
name.
this word.
Tomorrow,
Right?
tomorrow, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
So it's Bahard. We'll just call Bard. All right.
Barb. That's it. Just leaving it as Barb.
And then we get Gurathin, who
Gurathin,
he has a thing for her. I think we established, right?
Was
He's
that Mess's room?
Is it?
Because he was like, "Oh, why are you in Mess's room?" Because obviously she's on the trip, and he was like, "Oh,
Oh,
remember?" He was like,
that's
"Oh,
right.
he's a double A. Oh, he's gonna steal intel and he's
That
gonna sell it on the black market so he can get some more augments and also." And no, it's to sniff the furniture.
Yeah, and he's because
It's
he's looking at the picture of her 1,000 kids. Is that what
Yeah, he wishes he had one of those or he was in that picture. I don't know. The guy, and he even says it there. He's like, he's creepy, and that's something that we mentioned in the last episode. The eye
Yeah.
contact. He is definitely creepy. So now we know the creep factor doesn't
Yeah.
pertain toward sec unit. It's to everyone, and I
And
wouldn't be surprised if we see him do this to the other crew members.
he does ask the question in his mind. He says, "Why don't they lock their doors?"
Well, why should they? There's only a handful of them.
I don't know, because some of them are kind of creepy.
I mean, well, this dude's got some issues. Yeah, so something's going on. It sort of reminds me. I don't want to drift again, but it's these triggers, man. I get these triggers. Did you ever see the movie Pink Flamingo
I
with
have not.
Divine? Oh man, she licks the furniture. She goes over. She's like, "I'm gonna lick everything." She starts licking the couch and licking it. It's a wild movie. Don't watch it. It could be a little bit disturbing. I shouldn't have even brought it up. Let's go there. It's a John Waters film. That's all you need to know. Okay, so let's see, where else are we? So yeah, he snaps out of it because they're still trying to get his attention. right, on this vessel, and then they start talking about the satellites, right? They're
Yep.
close enough, they still can't tap into the satellite feeds. They don't understand why. Um, which Arata says that she ran some tests before and it was having some issues in the logs, and Mesa sort of questions it, and this is where SecUnit sort of spills the beans on what's happened, because he's like, no, she's been doing it, something to
Yeah.
that effect. But the fact that he chimed in and Mesa was like, how do you know this? And he's like,
Because that's
oh man,
he's becoming so self-aware, just like you or I when we're thinking, and then we say something, and someone goes, "Excuse me," and you're like, "I didn't say anything,"
yeah, oh, busted.
and then you're like, "Did I say that out loud?"
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, it's not looking good. But then this is where he brings up, and maybe this is true. People will go ahead in the comments if you can chime in if it makes sense. Now, he says that the company have it, that's part of his programming to
Yeah.
it's supposed to uh what's it assess all the or check the logs for all the crew members and their behaviors and activities and this and that, and keep log of that. I don't know if that's true. I mean, someone Ron says that's invasion of privacy and stuff. I think that is. There's only so far you can go. We get it. He's a unit security unit. Does that really require you to give you permission to go into personal logs and do all that
Yeah.
type of stuff? I think he's just pulling some strings. He's just spitballing, hoping that just blows him off on this.
Well, it's something you or I would say if we get caught in something awful. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly,
like you
exactly.
just throw something out there because you're scared, and you can see at times he is scared. He's scared that he's not going to watch TV, but
Oh, he needs that. He needs his TV time. He needs his TV time. Yep. And then this was interesting though when Methadone says, "What was it that are you a threat to us?" Or
yeah,
it was something to that effect. And he's like, "Yeah, no, no, to harm us." And he's like, "No, I'm here to protect." No, no. And then there was a pause. That was it. He was like,
yeah.
"I'm here to protect." And Rothy was like, "I noticed a pause." Yes, and there was a pause to even say yeah.
but
I mean, oh
but
man,
but just before that, Pinley had made a comment about him, and I forget what it was because he hears it and in his head he says, I should have let that thing eat your wife."
yeah,
I'm like, "Oh, he's getting bitter too."
yeah, she's questioning it. Yeah, I mean that was a lot. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of distrust, and I get it, especially with the fact that if he's a robot, you expect quick responses. Snappy. Let's keep this going.
Yeah.
Quick, the pause and the fact that the Rothy brings it up, and he's like, "I noticed the pause," and then there's a pause for the pause response, and he's like, "Yes,
But
yes."
Rathi wants him to he wants to treat him just like one of the gang.
Is that what you get from that? I don't. I think
Rathi, yeah, he wants to bring him on over, wants to high five him. Like he's all into this guy.
I thought that was all fake. I don't know. I thought he was doing it because Mesa was trying to. Uh,
That's not what I got.
all right, so maybe that's it. Maybe yeah, because I thought he was just like, all right, fine. You want us because he brings that up when he starts trying to talk to it, and then that's when they like, hey, stop! You're making him uncomfortable and asking these questions and stuff. And it's like, what do you mean? You're trying to bring him in like the crew. That's what you said, right? So I feel like he's just playing the game that Mesa wants, which is to incorporate
Perhaps.
SecUnit as a crew member, and that's what you would normally do with a crew member. Someone new shows up, right? It's like, hey, tell me about yourself. What do you like to do? This and that. Oh boy.
But then right after the pause, we see him. He's watching another TV show.
This is weird. I don't know what the hell's going on with this one. It was like with two women and they're doing something. They're connected to something, and it was.
Well, that was the first. That was the first show, and then he was
Isn't that the same
watching
one? I thought
another.
he went back into that one. I thought that was just the same part,
It might have been, but it was a completely different,
different scene.
different area.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first thing I thought of was what we talked about before we went live was about the Law and Order, Law and Order
UK.
UK,
Oh yes.
and we were talking about how they still wear wigs, and that's the vibe that I was getting from the image, even though he wasn't through the image. That's what it kind of reminded me of. I'm like, is he wearing like a wig or something? It was really interesting. I wish they would have given us that still. But
Just
anyway,
as interesting as Law and Order UK. Yeah, that's a real thing. Every time I bring that up, and you weren't the first person. There was some other people when I used to watch it, and they're like, "You're just making up stuff now." I was like, "I'm like, no, there's." It was on
nope.
BBC America, and we looked it up, right?
I
2009
looked
to
it up.
2014 or 12 or something like that. It ran for a few years.
2009 to 2014, and one of the people in it is Apollo from the reboot of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, but it was funny to see that when they would go to court, the attorneys, the oh no, I want to the solicitors,
Judges.
the solicitors would put on the wig, and they had the gown and everything on, sort of like, well, the robe, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a thing. But okay, so where are we? All right, so then Mesa later on, and while still in the hopper, as Sekbot to sit down with her, and he was like, "Why do all these humans? Why do they always want to sit? Is this some kind of fetish? What's his obsession with sitting?"
He just wants to be left alone.
Yeah, yeah,
Is this what this whole
that was
series
it.
is like? I
Oh,
just want to be left alone.
because in fact, it was that scene where he's watching something, and then he can hear it's like sec you, you know, it's like what? Stop, just stop.
It is exactly what. All right. This is what all guys do with their significant others. All right.
Oh boy.
Eventually, we tune them out. All right. I'm sorry if anyone doesn't think that their husbands do it or their boyfriends.
I'm telling you, I get this is there you go. I'm pulling the curtain back. Here we go. Look at it. If you can see, I can pull. I get screwed up on my wife at least 3 or 4 times a day. I forget stuff, or she'll tell me certain times and days. In fact, today, when you told me, "What about your family tomorrow?" You got me nervous because I'm like, "Great, now Lawrence knows and remembers more about my schedule with my family than I do." Because
If it makes you feel any better, my daughter literally will call me out. She's like, "You're not listening at all." I'm like, "I totally hear you." She's like, "Yeah, you hear me, but you're not listening." I'm like,
oh man, no, yeah,
as a 16-year-old.
but you know what I think? At least with my wife, she talks and then she'll walk away and continue talking. So then it's like it fades out. So then I didn't hear the last part, and then that's like the most important part because then I'll get a text. I was like, "We're in the car waiting for you." I'm like, "Well, what? What do you what do you mean? What's happening?" And he's like, "Didn't you hear? I said we're getting ready in 5 minutes. You have to meet me downstairs." I'm like, "I missed the other part of meeting downstairs in 5 minutes." Oh, anyway.
My kid's mother, my ex, she I had asked her, "Hey, what time and what date is it again?" I told you, and I go, but I forgot. I'm not going to tell you again. I've already told you. And I would go, well, whose fault is this? You know that I'm going to ask again. You've wasted more time arguing with me than just telling me, or it's on the calendar. I
You
can't
see,
see the
and
calendar.
this is it, and this is what we're
Speak
saying.
to me.
Full circle, we're just saying we relate to secunit. We
That's
relate.
what
That is the whole point of this rambling on our part. We relate. We get it. He is speaking for us.
I'm not a murderbot, though. All right.
No. We haven't created those names yet. Well, we have new names. What am I talking about? There we go. You are a punk with toys. That's what you created.
That's
there you go.
I just want to be known as a punk with toys. And
there you
when
go.
you talk to me, if you see me at Joe Fest in next month in June, and you're talking to me and you realize I'm not listening, I'm probably doing the same thing the sect unit. I want to say the sect bot.
Oh
the
man,
sect unit is doing.
and that was brought up in the last episode about because apparently that is a thing. The sex unit. Remember that was when Gurathin was talking to sec unit. He was like, "Aren't there like sec bot? Oh, well, there's the other model, not this one. Don't get it twisted, buddy." He's like, "Let's make eye contact. Let's go the extra mile. Let's go all digital." All
Oh,
right. So anyway, there we go. So then she sits down, starts talking, and he just feels so uncomfortable because it's almost as if he knows it's coming, which is shocking because he's like, "Don't do this. Don't start talking." And she starts bringing up, "Oh, my spouses," and that's something else that someone had told me about this universe. It's not uncommon for someone or multiple people to have multiple spouses. It's just a thing, and this would explain all those children. They may be from other marriages and links, but she just starts rambling, and then it fades out, and he just gets like, "I have to go check the ammunition," and just walks away. And she's like, "Okay, good, yes, okay." Yeah, right there, that should be an alarm in her head. It's like, what? Why does the robot feel the need to just get up and go? Am I not
so-
the commander of this ship? I mean, we watched Star Trek: Next Generation. Data never just got up and walked away when Picard was talking.
no, but
You know?
we never heard from Data's point of view of what he's thinking. But to piggyback on that, any of us that have spent time in a gym or anywhere, we have walked away from people who are in mid sentence because you're like, you're not going to shut up, and I have things to do.
No, that happens in the break room. That happens anywhere. You know, it's like, all right. I mean, I could be at the microwave heating something up, and the guy says, "Hey," blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, my food's getting cold now. You know, I can't stand here while you heat up your meal." It's like I got to go, and I'm
I can
walking
only
away.
show you so many hints, all right,
Oh, man.
before I'm just gonna be rude.
Shoot, man. I remember one time this guy kept rambling. I grabbed my meal, I'm walking away, and he kept following me. And then I went all the way back to my desk, sat down, I'm eating. He's still going on and on. And I looked at my watch. I was like, "Yo, it's like 20 minutes." I'm like, "Where's your food?" "It's still in the mic." It was weird. It was very weird. That was a long time ago. But I always remember that.
We're off topic.
That's what happens. That's what happens, people. That's why. There you go. Like and subscribe. More off-topic review coverage.
Um,
We relate ourselves to everything, and including the murder bot. And you know what I was thinking? I brought this up with someone when I mentioned. It was like, "Oh yeah, we're covering another show." "Oh, what's the show?" "Murder bot." It's like, that sounds brutal. But
it's-
well, yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, if you don't know the source material and you just
yeah,
hear murder bot, you're like, "Oh man, this must be like some crazy killing robot type show."
that's what I was thinking.
You see, there you go. And it's not that. At least not now, not early on. And
Come to find out, it's about a self-aware bot that just wants to watch TV. I know somebody in the comments are gonna go, "That is not what this is about. You need to we understand. All
yeah,
right."
I mean, Apple has it listed as a thriller comedy. That's it. That's what they put it. A thriller comedy. You know what? Let's go with it. Let's go with it. Because right now it's suspenseful in a way we don't know. There is a mystery, right?
Yeah.
We're getting to it. And there is comedy. This dude is funny. Everything that he says in his head, and even the one-liners that he's dishing out. He's If we were on this ship, I think at this point, especially with what we just saw with Mesa, I'm surprised she hasn't picked up. Like, all right, something's not right with this robot. The
Yeah,
fact that he just gets up and walks away from me, and just the way he's responding with the pauses as if he's thinking about what to say, this is all dead giveaways, right?
yeah, and I think there's got to be something that she's seeing something. She has feelings, and I'm not saying feelings for him, but she has
Yeah.
these weird feelings for everything that's going on. So I guess as we watch it, we'll find out more hopefully. Because so
Mhm.
far the series has been pretty funny. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's funny, and the only my complaint is short.
Yeah,
22 episodes, 22 minutes, and that's including the intro of him floating through space and then the credits. So it's not very long. It's like just when you feel like you're getting into it, and like, "Oh, okay, let's go," and it's like, "Dun dun dun, tune in next week for another exciting episode of Murderbot." It's like, oh,
so but then right before they land, he tells them to land outside the perimeter.
hmm yeah, because they could see that all the hoppers for that unit, that crew, they're still there. So
And
they're
he
like,
said,
"Oh, they
yeah, none of the sec units are pinging.
pingable." Yeah, he can't ping. He can't communicate at this point from this distance. He should be able to communicate with them,
Yeah.
talk, figure out what's going. They're not responding.
So as they land, he's like, "You guys have weapons training class,"
Oh boy.
and we have Rathy who's like trying to get out, and they're like, "No, you missed the class."
Yeah, he missed, and then the other ones, Pinley and Arata said that they had training, but what I think maybe it was Arata just with video games,
Yeah,
right? It was like, well, it's just video games, and yeah, most people would laugh that off. But I mean, sometimes they say that some of these people are really good. That it's all about hand-eye coordination, right? That's
yeah.
really what it comes down to. You still need to know how to hold the weapon, but if you're good with hand-eye coordination, I think you could probably pull it off.
And Pinley pointed out the big gun and said, "Who's getting that one?" And he took it.
Yeah, yeah, he took it.
So
He's ready. Who knows how heavy that was too? Some of these big guns. It'd be kind of they look cool in movies. I mean, we
yep.
all remember the minigun, which I always found funny. That's the name of it from Predator. Since you call it minigun, but yet that's the machine gun from a helicopter.
That's because that's the mini version of the Gatling gun that is on the A10 Warthog.
You know a lot about this.
Well, no, I just know that like that's.
I
I mean,
thought
there are other miniguns, but that the
that is
A10 has that Gatling gun. Some of the other ones do too. Believe it or not, they have big Gatling guns. They're
mm,
hidden. Like
okay.
the F-14 Tomcat has it on the side of it, and it's hidden inside of it. So like
Ah.
if they take off the panels, you see. I don't know
Then
if it's
that's
the
what you would
exact
see.
same.
Then when you take it off and you see
Yeah.
it. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
apparently Jesse Ventura. I always remember this because Jesse
Yep.
Ventura always says that he was the first to ever do that, to grab that, to use it, and that wasn't even in the script. He wanted a big gun, and they gave him some else, and he's like, "What if I just grab this one?" And it was like, "Oh, the prop from the helicopter. That's not going to be believable. Ah, a little cool though." And he grabbed it, and then he mowed down. Apparently he's the first to ever do that, and then now we see that in all kinds of movies. We see it in toys. Roadblock
Yep.
carries one. We see it
You
in
were
video
carrying
games.
a giant one.
Yeah, yeah. So they're all there. We go. But anyway, it's not that big, but it does. Secunit does grab a big one, and he tells
Yeah.
everybody, "You know what? I'm leading the charge. You follow me," which makes sense. He is the sec unit.
This is what his job is, to protect them.
That's it. I'm the protector. I wish he would just put on a voice. That would be the icing on the cake with this. If that he put on this fake, super like heroic voice when he would talk to them, because of all the shows that he's watched. Maybe he watched one that was like a superhero show, and it's like, oh, what are we gonna do? I am your protector. Stand behind me at a safe distance, or something like that. I am prepared to do battle.
He knows that there's something wrong. He just knows something isn't right. There's nothing pinging, so he keeps telling them stand behind him, which oddly enough they actually do. I'm surprised. They seem to really not want to listen to anything he has to say.
Well, now he has a weapon.
Yeah.
This is the last time. This is the last moment that you want to now attack him or question him. It's like, hey, should we trust you? Should we? You know what? I'm done with you, human. He's got a gun in his hand. You know what? Do you? You are the sec unit. You want to take control? Yo, Joe,
Yeah.
go for it.
He does tell, and again, we have um, um, Mensa, who's like kind of arguing with him. And so finally he convinced her and he says, if I'm not back in 10, or if you don't hear from me in 10 minutes, just leave.
Yeah. In fact, wait. Yeah, because what happens is he gets into one of the habitats that's there, and that's
Yep.
when he sees there's a down sec unit. But he says this is like standby, but there's an alarm blaring. There's all kinds of just rubble. It looks like there's been a fight, and she wants to go in after him, and he was like, no, 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 stay back, stay back. And then he even put the fake static noise, I can't, just breaking up, just so it's like, get him out of here. And it's fine. Hey, that's all part of protecting them, because what are they going to do, really? If there's from what he's gathering from here, and what he puts together is that one sec unit went down. It looks like two sec units were fighting each other, and both
Yeah.
fought to the death or something, right? Right, you keep going.
No, but yeah, here he is. He says he's gonna blow down the door, and then he realizes he can just open it. So he just kind of pushes it open, and as he's walking in, he starts seeing. He sees one murder bot, I'm sorry, one sec unit that's kind of destroyed, not knowing how, and then he starts seeing the actual murdered humans, and he's telling him to go back, which I do believe they finally do.
Yeah, they listened to him because he was like, you know what, you go back, like you said, 10 minutes. If I'm not back 10 minutes, then just head back to the base.
Yeah.
Just leave, take off.
And as he's going through everything, he sees one, and he I actually think he saw two, and then out of nowhere, it starts fighting him.
Yeah, one gets up and then they just have that cool fight scene there.
Yeah.
Oh man, but because he doesn't stop with the narration. He still narrates. He's like, I know this is a newer model, but I also have the info of that newer model, so I know what moves it's going to do. And then it really did that cool effect of showing the motions beforehand. Sort of
Yep.
like if you've
So
ever
that's right
played.
here.
Yeah, yeah, yep. That
Yeah.
right there. Oh man, that was so
Now I'm
cool.
not sure if I understood this completely, and what I mean by that is he says that this one is it's more experienced than me or something like that, because it's a newer model. But he
Mhm.
says I know everything that he's going to do. So I don't know if this is because he hacked himself or if he knows that it's carbon copied off of a specific
That's a good
TV
question.
show
Yeah,
or
you're
movie.
right. You're right. We
But
don't
he
know.
watches at this point here in the still that you see, he foresees everything that he's going to do, and then he does it, so he's able to counter everything.
He's like Neo from the Matrix. Remember
Pretty
with the
much,
fight, and he just knew where you were going. It's like, how do you do that? I don't know. I just know it all now. And it was that type of deal. He knows the combos, whether it's like a left, jab, right hook, and he already knew. And they did that cool effect where he just showed all the motions already, and then he
yeah,
just went and counter blocked, took it down, pretty much disabled this one, and everything seemed cool. But then he examined and realized, all right, so this sec unit was being controlled outside of
yep,
the area or outside the box. Someone else is controlling or something is controlling, and then that's where we get this scene, the final scene.
yeah, and he's wondering, and then this what we think is a black sec unit comes in and fires at him.
Hmm.
That's kind of where it's left at.
And that's where it's left at. It's like dun dun dun.
It
Tune
was
in next week.
22 minutes, and like you said,
Okay.
you remove a minute of the intro, and then you probably remove at least 2 to 3 minutes of
Edit.
the credits. Man, it's like a little short show.
Yeah, it's very short. It's very short. And you know what? It's fine. I'm just wondering if this is just for this season. I'm hoping. I have a feeling it's going to pick up. Just from what we've seen so far, it's
Yeah,
entertaining. It is a story. There's stuff going on. We like the inner chatter within the sec unit's
I
head.
love it.
Right? It's cool. It's fun. I like this. And now that we know from the you guys out there putting in comments and talking about this, there that not only is there 7 books, but it's an ongoing series. It's not done. It's still going on, which is great. So if this show becomes a hit, I could see them coming back with another season, but maybe it'll be an hour-long episode. Maybe they'll maybe this was a test run. Let's break it into 30 minutes and see how that goes. Or I don't know.
Yeah,
I just think it should be longer. I'm cool with it. Yes. People in the comments, what do you think? Are you cool with just this short format here, or would you like an hour-long episode?
yeah, that's a lot. You have a lot to pack in. This thing's pretty quick paced too.
Yeah, yeah, but maybe that's the other reason why it's all packed in and they're just quick talking. But then that's also the style. I think
Yeah,
that's also to make everything deliver the comedy aspect with all the quick one-liners back and forth. So who knows?
all the little quips. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's where it ends, and then we're left wondering what happens until next week.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I'm enjoying this. I was only one disappointment. We didn't go back to what you call it, the Sanctuary Moon. Because I'm used to seeing that. We saw that in episode 1 and episode 2, and I was like, oh, I want to get another Sanctuary Moon
Well,
segment, and we got
this
that other
movie,
show instead,
he wants to watch Strife and Galaxy.
Strife and Galaxy. But wasn't he said that wasn't as good? Wait, no, you're talking about it.
What?
Wasn't that the movie that you were talking about? There was something you were comparing it. The robot. It was similar to that. What was?
Yeah, he talks about Strife and Galaxy.
Well, all right, I'm blanking on it.
If I
But yeah.
remember, that's what I have.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Yeah, he causes the interference because he's trying to watch Strife and Galaxy
Okay.
at the same time.
Yeah. And that was it because he was saying it's a good show, but it wasn't as good as Sanctuary Moon. But it's something else that he likes
He
a lot.
really likes that show.
Really likes that show. So, but you know what? We really like this show. This is a good show. This is good.
Yes.
This is good. I'm
It's
enjoying it.
fun. It's fun. It's funny. But it's suspenseful. It keeps us wondering what's going on. But I'll say it again, like the strife inside of his head and what he has going on so far, that is what is keeping me the most entertained. It's something different. Um, I think kids would get bored by it. I mean, younger adults, I guess, they can
Yeah, I don't think
understand.
it's for kids, but definitely younger,
Yeah.
maybe that, or if they're not paying attention to it, because it's a lot of quick lines. It's
Yep.
a lot of quick ones, and you got to pick it up and see what's going on. And yeah, I think it's going to pick up. I think it's what now we have to
I do
figure
too.
out what's going on with that group. We have to figure out what's going on with that sec unit, if that even is a sec unit. What if it's just someone with a cool outfit on that looks like them?
That'd be very interesting.
It's like undercover. It's like, oh look, there's a sec unit. One of us. It's just black. Oh no, it's got a gun. It's like it's undercover, sort of like think of Star Wars with stormtroopers.
Yeah.
You got
I
Finn.
don't think
They
that.
put it on and just look. Yeah, oh, he's one of us. One of us. No, he's not. But anyway, there you go, people. Thanks again for liking, subscribing. Just stick with us and dealing with our our coverage style and our banter with all this. So this was for Murderbot Season 1, Episode 2, Risk Assessment. We will be back for Episode 4 next week. So yeah, anything else you want to say, Lawrence?
No. Again, remember, we're not here just to break down the TV show.
Yeah.
We're here to have just talk, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully you guys are enjoying our little banter going back and forth. Maybe sometimes going down memory lane, bringing up old movies that
And
we
you
kind
guys
of
can chime in too in the
yeah,
comments if any of this stuff triggers anything else for you, just like it does for us. Then go ahead and spew it. This is it.
yep.
It's fine.
But please, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel more than you know, and it's something very small for you to do, but huge for the channel. So that's all that I got.
That's it. All right, and that's it for us today. And I think once this is on Friday, right? And then
Yep.
Saturday, then we'll have the next episode of I'm blocking Mobland, and then the season the
We
series
recorded on
yeah,
we recorded on Saturday. It doesn't go off till Sunday.
that is correct. We do a lot of recording. A lot of
And then
recording.
you record the last of Us with your brother
Yep, got that. And that
Sunday
is the
night.
last episode of The Last of Us Season 2. So that's the finale. That should be a good one. See what happens there. And then we also have our first movie review for the channel that should be coming up.
We're hoping
Mhm.
hoping to get that as Apple TV movie, The
Fountain of
Fountain of
Youth.
Youth,
hmm
starring
Natalie
John
Portman.
Krasinski
Yeah,
and Natalie Portman and a whole
yeah.
bunch of other people that I have no idea who.
Yeah,
Other
it's
than
all
Stanley
right.
Tucci.
It should be. Oh, wait, who?
Stanley Tucci.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoosh. Okay, that's cool. That's
Actually, I'm looking at some of these people, and when I see their faces, I kind of recognize who some of them are.
cool. Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It comes up. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. Thanks again, and we will see you next week.
Have a great day.
Bye. You too. Bye.